Yeah, I'm too. What's up? Peace to the movement. 747 24/7, 361 degrees. I'm out here enjoying myself here in Lakeland, Florida, and just the serenity of the moment for what it's worth. I wanted to do a little spiritual check-in, and I wanted to start something up different, start something up new. I haven't really been broadcasting on YouTube, going live on YouTube, but I want to make it a habit to start more or less checking in from the YouTube, connecting with my people and my family that are across the universe that are literally designated on this interface. All right. I want to make it a habit to connecting up with the family. Of course, I want to have a little build with y'all on some science. Of course, I want to talk about the Messiah Code. Of course, yeah, I want to talk about the Messiah Code for what it's worth. I wanted to read from the book, the 141 Introduction to Magic and Divination. Now, if you don't have that, email it to you at your discretion. If you email the movement, or you put your email in the comment section. All right. Thank you for the likes and the shares for the people that's supporting. Also, share this on Facebook. Share this on any social media platform. I'll appreciate it. Okay. So what I'm gonna do today, since this is my first video, on YouTube, actually broadcasting here in Lakeland, Florida, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the memorandum. All right, I'm gonna connect up utilizing the memorandum, and we're gonna build on that. Pardon me. I'm trying to share this video right now, so that way anybody that really want to see this video, they can. Anybody that really want to see this, they can see the video. All right. So just give me 2 more seconds, and then I'll be ready for you. 2 more seconds, and I'll be ready. All right. So, yeah. It might be going well now. All right. So, I got the 141 Introduction to Magic and Divination. If you don't have this book, again, email the movement and I'll send it to you. I want to start reading the memorandum. Now, this is that essentially everyone that is a part of the movement should. If you don't know it by verbatim, if you don't know it, I would say have a general synopsis of what it's saying. All right, have a general standing, have a general feeling of what the message is actually speaking. So we'll start off like this. So this is Master Key Combination 131 Memorandum. It starts off like this. So the verse 1, the Messiah Code is an archive of information that is and has been and will be moving throughout the mainframe for an eternity of what we call time and space. Verse 2, the greater consciousness of thought, the hard drive of self-awareness. How can I explain what the codex is? All right. The great verse 3, a combination of all matter and antimatter in actuality. You can consider it a combination of all things. We call this the network, the tone of the universe. Verse 4, the greater perception of reality tapping into the frequency of the ever living to become a master student so you can become a master teacher. Verse 5. This means that you have to base your life upon learning. It is no day or no minute you are not in the realm of learning. Every aspect that you will learn throughout this program will be a point in a geometrical shape that you create in the pathway of life, coming back to the source. All right? Verse 6. When you move from point A to point B to point C, back to point A, you actually create a geometrical shape, or what we call a dimensional reality, the sigil of destination and the progress behavior. Verse 7. You are a Messiah type leader or savior of a particular group or a cause, and never let anyone tell you different. That means you have to step up to the plate and be a leader. Thank you. Verse 8. Show perseverance in what you do and diligence in the things you dream to be. The idea of this is to tap into your uniqueness. Yes, you are unique. And to know the special qualities that you possess as a Messiah type genealogy. Ucha, peace to the matriarch LLC. Thank you. Peace, Sister Akshita Vita, the general. Thank you for your presence. All right. So I'm on verse 8 of the memorandum, the 131 master key combination. All right. So on verse 9, it says this. It says, now, Messiah can be applied in many ways. Throughout the course of your journey, learning the Messiah code, you will learn the cycles of 1 through 31. This is symbolic. This is a symbolic clock of time measuring the cycles between 1 and 31 as the Alpha and Omega principle. Verse 10. These are the building blocks of Messiahship, and every block represents a degree in the temple that you are building. It represents the foundational keys to open the doors of a monumental temple. Verse 11, you have to make the foundation strong so when the storm comes, you will not be shaken. Verse 12, the mind, the body, the soul, all are aspects of the temple. All three are one. Verse 13, the threefold reality that you will tap into and the greatest tools you will have will be that of the Messiah code to decipher reality and rewrite the mainframe consciousness. Learn the code, know the code, be the code, be the codex. Verse 14. Where do you want to take your mind? That is the greatest question I am asking right now. Verse 15. The mind is really the soul. Soul is the experience of expression, inward and outward. The creative force of will. They call this Who? Verse 16. And if anyone is able to take his quest or her quest to the next level, they will become what they truly are: the Messiah, hero, shero of their world. And with the power of great leadership, we will be able to save the planet. Verse 17, the Codex is one of the greatest tools that you will be able to utilize in your life. It's up to you to know that you are great. It is up to you to tap into the power that you have. Verse 18. The Messiah Code, El Masih Ramza, is a motivational tool, but at the end of the day, it is about self. And that's where this journey is leading. The greater you, the greater destiny of what you and growing to be the inner being. Verse 20. The one that is calling out to the outer world. The only way to escape the matrix is to be called. And you must know your calling, your purpose in life. Verse 21. We are more alike than what people know. And this is the template designed to formulate one's own stance on reality itself. Verse 22. This is the Messiah Code. Become the Messiah you already are. And never let anyone stop you from transforming the ideas that you have inside yourself. This is the greatest thing that you have, which is your creativity. Okay? Verse 23. The Messiah Code is not related to astrology or numerology. It is a mainframe consciousness compared to that of a computer. What is a computer? A computer is an electronic device for storing and processing data. Simply. Typically in binary form, according to the instructions given to it by a variable program. That's what a computer is, simply. Verse 24, there is no more Christianity. There is no more Islam. There is no more Judaism. There is no more Buddhism, no more astrology, no more numerology, or whatever isms that you can come up with. It is only the network. That's it. Verse 25, it has a code that is updated every first, every second, every minute, every hour, anything you can consider to be time itself. But essentially, data is another word for DNA. Data, DNA. Verse 26. So when you look at the code, like we said, you got to apply it as a sheroic or heroic quality of yourself. Verse 27, Now we break down every number from 1 through 31, and they have a special quality and recognition to the reality that we are living. But what you must solar stand is truly is that your mind is the computer that is tapping into a greater computer, which is the source, the architect, and how you construct your goals is how you construct your happiness. Verse 28, if you want to call this God, well, the architect is the one that creates the plan for the building. And we are building right now. Verse 29, the Most High is the architect for the plan of the building, the temple of the spiritual body, the shell. Verse 30, it has been called by many names throughout time. Now we call it the Messiah Code or Codex, the mainframe consciousness that is linked to the mental reservoir. Verse 31, we call the source or any other name you consider to be a verb, an action, movement, and progress. This is an example of what the codex is. And I'm going to leave it at 7777, 14 times 14, 13 times 13, and 31 times 31. Do the math. They all add up to 777. All right. Which all adds up to 3. All 3 are 1. All right. Let's do this. So, I'm just doing a little spiritual check-in, and I'm going to make it a habit. I'm not going to be on Facebook broadcasting live any longer like that. I think I'm going to spend probably maybe 5% of my time going live on Facebook. If I choose to go live, I'm going to go live on the Messiah Code. All right? I'm just say that. For the most part, I'm going to make that a good habit for anyone on here. I want to have the choice to connect up with another demographic of people. That's why I want to be more concentrating on the YouTube. All right. But I don't want the message to be suppressed at all. And in order to do that, we got to get off of these platforms, and we got to start connecting up with one another. I'm going to keep it real. We got to start connecting up with one another and building our temples and building our healing centers that's for us, for the people that are part of this movement. Now, generally speaking, I got a certain feeling about mostly everybody in the movement. Like, if you would say, what is the common denominator of everyone besides, the teachings? Because the teachings, when it comes to the codex, you can't say our teachings just reside in the books like the Master Key applications. No, those are more or less expressive responses of all the information that we study. You know what I mean? The books that are authorized by the movement called the Master Key applications. All right. And it's all applicable to your reality. But what I want you to see is that all the teachings of the world are actually our teachings. So, like, let's say you go and study to be a Buddhist, or you go study the Yoruba, you study various different spiritualities. You are not gravitating away from our teachings, because everything is the codex. Everything is a part of our history. All right. Everything is a part of essentially what makes us whole. All right. And the universe, I have said this to people before, how the universe speaks to us all, and that the universe is always speaking, and then some people are listening, some people not. And sometimes the universe says the same message to different people, and the way they express it is in a different way, though. It's like kind of if I told you a story and then you go around and you whisper it in somebody else's ear, and by the time it go around the room and it come back to me, the story is going to sound different. All right. It's the same thing when the universe is speaking to us. Yeah, it might sound different in a certain type of way after it start going around the room. Okay. So it's like I want people to get that. I'm not here to divide people. I told people it's no more nothing. It's none of that. All it is just a network. It's no more Judaism. It's no more Islam. It's no more Islam. All right. It is no more Islam. All right. It is only the network. Or whatever isms that you want to make them. It's only the network. So if we overstood or solar stood that, we would be tapping into the network. You get it? Because even when you think about the food that we eat, and the the food that we eat, in order to essentially heal ourselves, we need the food from all around the world. We need the food from all around the world, not just from our designated area. Whatever's in our designated area doesn't have essentially everything that we need. We need to be travelers of the world to tap into it in order to get essentially what we need. All right. So just sharing the codex, this 131 memorandum. Thank you, Dr. Sabi. Also, Dr. Lee. Check out Dr. Lee. Dr. Lee is a good dude too. He speaks about foods. I forget his first name. His name is Dr. Lee. I think he's a Chinese dude. I don't know, but he really talks about some really good stuff about food as well. All right. For good confirmation. Okay. But I'm not here. That's not what I came to reveal about food. It's somebody else that has a job to reveal what is nutritional for food, or what you should eat, what you should not eat, and what's the best thing for you and what's not. That's not my premise of thought. All right. What I came to bring is the codex. Okay. And the codex, it would be simply like this. The energy, we don't possess the energy. The energy flows through us. Just remember that. The divine energy, of what you consider to be the universal principle of all, it literally flows through us. We don't possess it at all. All right. Not for ourselves. So the energy flowing through me in revelation to you brought what is considered to be the body. All right. And the body was broken up into 99 pieces. Now, we already been given 99 names or 99 pieces of this body before, when we were given the 99 elements or the 99 names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All right. And the 13th attribute of Allah is Musawiru, or where they get Asaru from. Musawiru, same thing. The 13th attribute of Allah. But that attribute Musawiru is actually Allah taking shape, taking physical form. That's what it truly represents. It really represents Allah taking a physical shape or a physical form in this existence, or our detection of what we consider to be reality itself. All right. So, and then another body, when you draw Yahuwah or Yahweh vertically, it looks like a body. You know what I'm saying? When you draw Yahweh vertically, it looks like a body. You'll see the head, the two arms. You'll see the Wa inside the chest, which represents the soul. And then you'll see the legs. So me sharing something. And then also 1 Corinthians 12, 25 through 27 talks about how We are all the body of Christ. And then not only that, when the Messiah sat them down at the Last Supper, he said, look, eat this bread. And they was like, okay. When they ate the bread, he said, now you're a part of my body. Basically, he said, we're all one body. I'm showing you collectively this bread represents my body. So if you ate the bread, you was collectively part of the body. You understand? And people say, oh man, now we getting into some cannibalism. We get into peace, cool. We get into cannibalism. No, it's all symbolic. That's for the people that's on a low level thinking, that are really terrestrial type of people. Okay, these are the people that you don't really want to deal with when it comes to a higher functionality of your thoughts. You don't want to go to them as to say, oh man, you got to look into the greater meaning of it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when they ate the bread at the supper, at the Last Supper, this was considered to be them being a part of his body. The wine was the blood. The wine represented the energy or the fire. Because remember, you'll be baptized by fire in this day and time. In this day and time, you'll be baptized by fire. And what is fire, Lamel? Fire is technology. Fire is technology. You know, it's a lot of people that are very spiritual, but they can't make a phone. They can't create a phone. They don't know the technology that makes a phone. But we so highly spiritual. We so highly elevated. You don't know the technology that runs the currents through your house, or you don't know the technology that makes us communicate right now. These are higher functionalities of spirituality. I'm gonna keep it real. Right now, they have us suppressed by religion. Suppressed by their so-called spiritualities. And you say, why is that? Because it does not embrace technology. John the Baptist said, after me, it's going to be one who's greater than I, whose shoes I can't even tie, whose Jordans I really can't wear. I'm going to keep it real. Whose Jordans I can't even wear like that. But he said, yo, I baptize you with water. This is emotion. This is the emotion that we go through when we connect up with a certain spirituality. That's the water that we was baptized with. But when the Messiah comes, he baptizes you with technology, the fire. Because if you go back, when the gods gave man fire, it was symbolic of technology. Anytime you go back and you go do your research, you understand when the gods brought man fire, that's when they brought man technology as well. So you got spooked out and got on some sacrilegious term and said, oh, we getting baptized by the fire. I'm scared of this situation. The enlightenment, because the fire represents literally when the mind ignites a thought. All right? Because whether you know it or not, technology is really a form of fire. It's all form of fire. What makes it animated is fire. It's like you looking inside a fire. Back in the day, we used to light a fire and tell stories because the fire would animate the thought of what was in our mind. And fire always had an intelligence within itself. That's why people lit it, because the fire would create the light, and then the light would go into your mind, and it would react in a certain way to create intellect. And that's why they say when you have a thought, it reminds you of a light bulb going on. But before they had a light bulb going on, they had a literal candle that was lit when you create a thought. And then you put that candle in a high place so many can see it. So many can embrace the thought of what you have came to bring, the light you have come to bear on this planet. All right? So yeah, we are messiahs, and all of this weird stuff about pseudoism, and all of this weird stuff about how they got us divided because we always reaching back in history. Let me tell you something right now. The buck stops here, and the buck already starts here. You say, why is that? Because when you go back into all of these various different spiritualities, religions, and different things, they have something, that is considered to be a time of change, which is a new age of what we consider to be information. All right. We are living in that time right now, what is considered to be the transferring of the buck, where we are moving into what is considered the new age. Now, we have been there since 2017, March 1st. Now, somebody would beg to differ. Somebody say we've been in the age of Aquarius since 1970, Lamel. All right. Somebody will also beg to differ and say we haven't really got there yet. Somebody would beg to differ, but the feeling is the same, because you know that something is being, a great change is happening. A great power is being taken off the throne. A great power is taken off the throne, and the seat is being vacant for the new power to come in. And you might say, well, what is that? We are the power. You got to realize that. See, like, once you start knowing that you were God's, and once you start knowing that you had the responsibility of yourself, and it's not some unseen force, you had to bring about that God force from within. Once you realize that, you start embracing technology. You start being in a creative and inventive mind. I'm telling you right now, we need to be in more of those universities, learning the technologies that run this world. All right, we need to get out of these so-called temples, and if we do have temples, they need to be teaching technology simply. They need to be teaching technology simply. All right, so that way we can survive. That way we can be. You can't be on this planet as of right now without some form of technology. You cannot be on here without it. That's why, when you look at the Messiah as well, you'll see this. You got two collarbones. You got one collarbone, which is the blue collarbone, right? And then you got another collarbone, which is the white collarbone. All right. The blue collarbone represents the collarbone of hardship, and then the white collarbone represents the collarbone of mentorship. And you might say, what do you mean by that? All right. So you got the 12 and the 13. This is symbolic right here. That's on your right collarbone. This is the blue collarbone. This the collarbone of hardship. But when you move to what is considered to be the 16 and the 17, which guard the left collarbone. Now remember, everything on your left side, it controls your mind. On the right hemisphere of your brain, everything on your left side, it controls everything on your right side. So if I'm saying on the left collarbone, it has a spiritual and mental application to what the numbers represent. All right. So now we know that this the 16 represents the surgeon. Remember that we did that in the build when we talk about the 7 weapons of the Messiah, because the 7 weapons of the Messiah, one of them so happens to be a sword, and then the sword is actually the weapon of the surgeon. Because remember, you wasn't given a big sword to chop people up. You was actually given a scalpel so you can be a healer instead of a killer. Remember that. That's why you was given a small double-edged sword. And that small double-edged sword became your tongue in some sort of way. It became your tongue. All right. But what's so deep about it is this. The pain ran so deep with the people that, you need something more than a surgeon. You need something greater than a surgeon to come in. You needed the scientist to come in. So that's why the scientist was El Yaqub, the number 17, because 17 is one who wants to be like God, or one who's like God. 1-7. 17 is the one who wants to be like God, or one who is like God. All right? 1-7. Or one who ascends to a godship, or one who wants to rise to godship. All right? The over-analytical thinker, the number 17. That's why the 17 in our mathematics also would represent Yaqub, which would be the big-headed scientist. And when you look at the number 17 in the codex, you'll see it looks like 2 hemispheres of the brain. It would literally look like two hemispheres of the brain. But what I was saying is that the pain ran so deep with the people that you needed more than the surgeon to perform an act of healing. You need more than the surgeon to come in with healing hands to cut away the poison, to cut away the cancer. You need more than the surgeon. You needed the scientist to come in. Because the scientist is going to allow you to live with that cancer, allow you to live with the pain. But the scientist will upgrade your technology so you can live with it. You understand? The scientist, after you go from the surgeon, you have to upgrade yourself and go to the scientist. Both of them are men in white, just like the one who baptizes you wears white. Just like the doctor wears white. All right? Just like the doctor wears white. And the one that baptizes you wear white. All right? The scientist wears white as well. All right? Literally, so you can see his aura. So you can see what's on him or her. So when a scientist is performing his act of healing doesn't actually remove the cancer at all or remove the pain at all. The scientist keeps the pain there. So it reminds you of what you are not looking back at. And the scientist gives you a technology and gives you what is needed in your mind to know that you are upgraded. And that pain or this whatever cannot destroy you. Because you got the technology to function and to move about in this mainframe consciousness. That's what the Messiah is. The new Messiah in this day and time, I'm going to keep it real. It's going to bring you to the technology that you need. That's what the new Messiah is here for, or whatever you want to call it, the returning Messiah. The Messiah is simply a network. I broke that down before. People say, well, you the Messiah, Lamel? The Messiah flows through me, the same way that the Messiah can flow through you if you tap into the network. I told people also, when you look at the body of the Messiah, start to study it. Start to look at it and observe what's there. Because the science is given to us. I'm gonna give it to you like this. Look, listen. In order to get on the internet, you need an IP address, an internet protocol. All right? An IP address. Now, this IP address is the same thing as how you came into existence in this mainframe, because you only got a 1 through 31. If I ask you, your birthday is a 1 through 31, simply. So you on the body. Nobody has the 0. One thing you notice about the body of the Messiah, y'all said, nobody asked me where's the 0 at. Nobody ever said, yo, Lamel, shit, where's the 0 at on this? Because when I count numbers, I count 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like, you looked at the body and said, nobody ever asked me and said, yo, Lamel, well, shit, where's the 0 at on the body of the Messiah? I'm going to tell you where the 0 at on the body of the Messiah. The 0 is not there. Because nobody can come in on the 0. The 0 represents the Most High. That represents the true network that we tapping into. So nobody can take the 0. That's why when you look at the Messiah, you only see 1 through 31. All right? And that has 8 figures in it, just like music has 8 figures. And then you take 4 octets, you got 32 positions, because 4 times 8 is 32. All right? 4 times 8 is 32. What are the 32 positions, Lamel? That's the 1 through 31 plus the 0. Y'all forgot to count the 0. There you go, the 32 positions. There you go, you got 4 octets. 4 octets. So we are literally on a network. When I say we on a network, it's no denying. You can't deny me. You cannot deny my knowledge and say, yo, nah, we not on the network, Lamel. Because the protocol, I'm just simply using IPv4. The protocol to get on the internet is designated through an octet. And I just showed you how we are literally logged into this reality through an octet, through a number that you never counted, which was a 0. 1 through 31 positions, that's 31, and then the one more that you can't take, which is 0, which is the network. It's the same thing in the process of a network, because nobody can take the network, but you can take the designated host. You even can take the broadcast, but you cannot take the network. It don't belong to you. All right? It connects everyone together. That's why I say we are literally in a mainframe consciousness. Literally. And then when you literally break this stuff down, you will know that reality itself is programmable. The reality that we live in is literally programmable. That's why you gotta be careful what you thinking. You gotta be careful what you wanting. You gotta be careful what you desiring. You gotta be careful what you around. You gotta be careful what you put in your mind. You gotta be so careful, because reality is programmable, yo. It's so programmable to the point that it becomes like you become clumsy in your situation by saying the wrong thing, or being involved in the wrong thing, or in the wrong mind state. You become clumsy with your power, not knowing the greatness that's what's inside you as a Messiah. So reality is programmed. We're on a network, proven right here. The octets, the 4 octets, which simply represent music, the vibration of music. You know how a computer is alive when you shut it down? Does anybody know why a computer is still alive when you shut it down, and when you turn it back on, it remembers what you put in it? Just like when you go to sleep and you wake up and you remember who you are. You know the similar relation. You got something that is a battery in a computer that represents a pulse of sort, a functionality of a pulse. So when you cut your computer off, it's a pulse still going. It's a tick still going. A fragment of time measured through a beat and a pulse of sort. Just like you. Just like you. It's a beat and a pulse that you tap into, a rhythm of sort. That's this metronome of what we consider to be the tick in the top of how you came into this reality. That's why I said we come in on the 2 rather than the 1. That's why I said that. All of these things are connected. Some of us are in the matrix, playing it. Some of us are out of the matrix, and we what is considered to be the book. I don't breaking up, y'all. I don't know if I'm breaking up. But the book represents the rectangular prism. The rectangular prism is the area. Your area times your height. See, your feet guard the area. The area. And the height guards the height. That's why you should be praying over your feet at times, so the universe can take you into places where you need to be. That's why you pray over your feet at times, so the universe can take you where you need to go in the designation of choice. But the book is simply a rectangular prism. Yo, scary, really, it's scary, literally blow your mind. So the other day I was talking about how I asked y'all a question. I said, yo, how many degrees in a circle? And everybody is like, we all like 361 degrees, right? So we start breaking that stuff down. And then I showed y'all the upgraded body of the Messiah. And I showed you how the upgraded body of the Messiah, you literally can measure the universe with it, or you can chart your course with the designated, with the upgraded body of the Messiah. But what's so deep is this, right? You got 7 sides, 7 directions or 7 points you need in order to chart a course in the galaxy. Somebody ever asked me, what are the 7 points you need? Or what does the 7 points represent? Nobody ever asked me that. In order, because you represent the dot and you traveling throughout the universe within your mind, within your spirit, all right, within your meditation. So how do you chart a course within the universe with these 7 points? See, that's why I said some of us are in the matrix and some of us are in the book. Because once you come out of the matrix and you go into the book is the rectangular prism. So how many sides are in a cube? How many sides does a cube have? When you open up a cube looks like a cross. Am I lying? When you open up a cube looks like a cross and it has 6 sides to it, whether you know it or not. A 3-dimensional cube has 6 sides to it, all right? And it has 1 point that you don't count, which is the center, the dot. There go your 7 points. Dimensional reality. There go your 7 points right there. Hey, you.
Hey.
How you doing? Yeah. Get some air. There go your 7 points right there. So you was in a cube. That was the square. You was in a cube. Remember, you came out of the matrix and you went into the book. The book represented the cube. Now you're seeing the universe from 3 dimensions. From the 3-dimensional cube, you're seeing. Now you're measuring the universe from the dot, which is the 7th point. Right here, the dot, the 7th point, right there. All right. So I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Thank you for coming in on this YouTube experience. It definitely was a blessing. Thank you, brother Axel. Yo, thank you for the donation too, Axel. I remember you sent a donation. I appreciate it, to the PayPal. I remember you sent that. I think it was a couple weeks ago. I want to say thank you, brother Axel. I appreciate your time, and also you sponsoring the movement. Thank you for everybody that came in. I appreciate your time as well. Again, I'm gonna start broadcasting on the YouTube more often. That's gonna be my new little look. It's a little bit more peaceful. And I will hope to connect up with some great people. Are there any comments before I get off? Let me know. Any comments before I get off? Let me know. I would say I appreciate you. Appreciate everyone's time. You said amazing how my nation love what your tone. Thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it, brother Axel. Anything else? Any other comments before I get off? I appreciate y'all time, all right? Y'all have a blessed day or a great day. And yes, matriarch love, thank you. Shout out to all the family. 747 24/7 361 degrees. Oh, it's Cotton of Fear. Thank you. Shout out to Sister Cotton of Fear. I love you, Sister Cotton of Fear. Thank you for always holding it up. I appreciate it. All right, cool. Peace to the Messiahs.